All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are taking a deep dive into Foamin Carpet Care. This is a Sacramento-based business and maybe one you're thinking about using, so we are going to break down everything we can.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of material in front of us, their website, all the details about their services. And this is cool. We have a ton of customer testimonials.
The voice of the people. Always a good thing to have.
Oh, absolutely. So by the end of this, you should have a really clear picture of exactly what they offer, how they work, what actual customers think about them.
Perfect. Cut through the noise.
Exactly. No more guessing games. So let's jump right in. Right off the bat, their tagline is fresh, clean, effortless. It's a catchy little phrase, but is it just marketing or does it hold up?
It actually seems to line up pretty well with everything else I'm seeing about them. They definitely emphasize a really professional approach, and they seem to use some pretty advanced techniques.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's a big focus on customer convenience. They
Uh-huh.
want you to feel like getting your carpets clean is totally easy and stress-free.
I like that. I also noticed that they talk a lot about being owner-operated.
Yeah.
I bet that appeals to a lot of people, but why would that even matter when you're choosing a cleaning service?
That's a good question. And honestly, it can make a huge difference. When a business is owner operated, it often means a higher level of personal investment, right? You're not dealing with some giant corporation. You're talking directly to the person who built the business from the ground up.
Makes sense.
And their reputation is on the line with every single job they do. So that can lead to better communication, more attention to detail, and even greater accountability if something goes wrong?
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so speaking of things that stand out, I saw on their website that they're open 24 hours. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone's getting their carpets cleaned at 3 a.m. So what's the real scoop here?
Okay, so probably not literally working 24/7, but it really shows how flexible they are. I mean, it says that they're willing to work around your schedule, even if that means really early mornings or even late evenings.
Oh.
You don't see that from a lot of businesses, so I think it really points to their commitment to putting the customer first.
Dedicated. I like it. So it sounds like they're not just about carpets. They do upholstery, tile, and grout, even pressure washing. What stands out to you from their service descriptions?
A couple of things, actually. First, they mention something called the Precision Clean System over and over again.
Ooh, fancy.
Right. Sounds pretty high tech. We'll have to look into exactly what that is. And
Okay.
second, they really emphasize using eco-friendly and pet-safe solutions, which I'm sure is important for a lot of people these days.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's get to the juicy stuff. We've got this mountain of customer testimonials. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, Camille B says they were super fast and showed up early, and her carpet smelled fantastic afterwards.
Mhm.
Linda H. loved the fair pricing, especially compared to other companies she had looked at. And Latoya J. kept it short and sweet, thorough, prompt, and economical service.
Wow, consistent praise. What's interesting is that a lot of the positive feedback isn't just about the actual cleaning.
Yeah, I see that.
There's this common thread of people praising Yegor, the owner, for being really responsive, super friendly, and professional. That personal touch really makes a difference.
Oh, it absolutely does, especially when you're inviting someone into your home. And speaking of home, they're based in Sacramento, California, and their service area includes places like Roseville and Elk Grove. Pretty important info if you live in that region.
For sure. You want someone local, familiar with the area, and who can get to you quickly. That definitely builds a level of trust and convenience.
So we've covered a lot. Their image, their focus on the customer experience, even that interesting 24-hour thing. But before we go any further, I have a question for you. With all these rave reviews, how do you think a small business like this can keep up those high standards as it grows?
That's the million-dollar question. It's definitely a challenge for any business to get bigger and still maintain that personal touch and quality. I think it'll be interesting to see what other insights we can find as we dig deeper into the information we have.
That's a great point. But before we move on, let's make sure everyone knows how to get a hold of Foamin Carpet Care. You can give them a call at 916-432-9776, send an email to info@foamincarpetcare.com, or find them online.
Easy enough.
And don't forget, they're located in Sacramento, California.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be diving into some of the more specific details about Foamin Carpet Care. Stay tuned.
So before the break, we were talking about how a small business can make sure they keep their quality high as they grow. It's tough, right? I'm thinking we should take a closer look at this precision clean system they keep mentioning and see if that gives us any clues.
Yeah, the Precision Clean system, it definitely caught my eye. Does their website give us any more detail on what makes it so special?
Well, they do give us some hints. They describe it as a multi-step process, so it sounds pretty thorough. And it combines this advanced equipment with the eco-friendly solutions that we talked about earlier.
Okay, so eco-friendly and high-tech, but how does that actually benefit the customer?
Well, they say their system really gets deep down into the fibers, like way deeper than other cleaners, so it removes those stubborn stains and odors that other methods might miss.
Okay, that's a bold claim. A deeper clean and a fresher smell? Sounds good to me. But do they actually deliver on that promise? What are people saying about the results in these testimonials?
That's what's so cool. You see words like spotless, like new, even amazing all over the place. And a lot of people specifically talk about how impressed they were with how clean and fresh everything smelled after Foamin was done.
Happy noses all around. But what about those really tough cleaning challenges like pet stains? Did you see any testimonials that talked about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's one from Lindsay S. She had this problem with an animal smell on her couch that she just couldn't get rid of. And she said Foamin completely eliminated the odor. And get this, she even said the fabric looked better than before.
Wow, that's a pretty strong endorsement. It sounds like they've cracked the code on pet stains and odors without having to use harsh chemicals. And you know what? It's kind of amazing we haven't seen a single negative review yet.
Yeah, it is remarkable. There are always going to be some people who aren't 100% satisfied, but the number of positive reviews and how consistent they are is pretty impressive. They're definitely doing something right.
Maybe it's that 24-hour availability. Just kidding. But it does say a lot about their commitment to customer satisfaction. So, okay, we know they're based in Sacramento, but what's the city like? How does it connect to their business at all?
Sacramento is a really cool city. I mean, it's the capital of California, so there's a lot of history and culture there. But it's also a city that really cares about quality of life, community, and sustainability. Those values really line up with Fomin's focus on those eco-friendly practices and their customer-centric approach.
So they're kind of tapping into what people in Sacramento already care about.
Exactly. And remember, they don't just serve Sacramento, they also cover Roseville, Elk Grove, and the surrounding areas. So they're reaching out to a bigger community that probably shares a lot of those same values.
Okay, so they're more than just a cleaning company. They're part of the community.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a minute. Earlier we talked about some of the downsides of being owner-operated. What are some of the challenges that Foamin might face as it grows?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is just capacity. As a business gets bigger, it needs to handle more clients and maybe even bigger jobs, right?
Right.
And if the owner is the one doing most of the work, well, that could lead to longer wait times for customers. Yeah. Or even a drop in quality if they're spread too thin.
So it's like that classic problem. You become successful, and then you have to figure out how to handle that success without losing what made you successful in the first place.
Precisely. Another potential problem is resources. Owner-operated businesses don't always have the same access to fancy equipment or a wider range of cleaning solutions as those huge companies.
Interesting.
So that might limit the types of jobs they can take on or make it hard for them to handle really big projects.
So there are definitely two sides to the coin. Being owner-operated has a lot of benefits like personalized service and maybe even lower prices, but it also has some limitations that people should keep in mind.
Totally. And Foman seems to be doing great so far, but finding that balance as they grow, that's going to be essential to their long-term success.
Well, we've talked about a lot, the precision clean system, all those happy customer testimonials, even Sacramento itself and the challenges of running a small business. But we haven't really talked about one of the most important things yet, and that's pricing. We're going to dive into that right after this short break. All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Foamin carpet care. We've covered a lot of ground, but now let's get to the nitty-gritty, the bottom line. How much does it actually cost to use their services?
Ah, yes, the price tag. It's a big question, especially for something like carpet cleaning, where prices can be so different from one place to the next.
Right, so do they just come out and say it on their website, or do you have to play a guessing game until you get a quote?
Well, it looks like they don't list specific prices online. That's pretty common for this kind of service, to be honest. The final cost usually depends on a bunch of different things, like how big the area is, the type of cleaning you need, how bad the stains are, all that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. But there has to be some way to get a general idea of their pricing, right? I mean, we did see some hints in those customer testimonials.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Several people mentioned things like fair pricing or reasonable costs. I think it was Linda H. who even said they were a lot cheaper than some other companies she had contacted.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like they're going to totally break the bank. But beyond just being fair, what does their pricing tell us about their overall approach?
This is where it gets interesting. They seem to be going for that sweet spot, premium service without a premium price tag.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. They really highlight their advanced techniques, those eco-friendly solutions, and the personalized attention. Those are all things you would normally associate with those really expensive cleaning companies, but they're managing to stay competitive on price, at least based on what their customers are saying.
Smart strategy, you get the best of both worlds, high-quality cleaning without spending a fortune.
Exactly. They're offering value that goes beyond just the numbers. It's also about that feeling of knowing you're getting a great result and you're supporting a business that actually cares.
And don't forget, they're owner-operated. So you're not paying any extra for a middleman. You're working directly with the person who owns the business.
That's a great point. That direct connection could mean real savings for the customer, which makes their services even more attractive.
All right, so let's wrap things up. We've learned a lot about Foamin Carpet Care. They're a Sacramento-based business dedicated to customer satisfaction using eco-friendly practices and those super high-tech cleaning methods. Plus, they're owner-operated, which gives you that personal touch and could help keep the costs down.
Right, and we can't forget that precision clean system they're so proud of, which promises a deeper, more effective clean than those traditional methods. And of course, all those glowing customer reviews, with people consistently praising their speed, efficiency, and the real difference they see in their carpets and upholstery.
It definitely seems like they're doing a lot of things right. But here's one final thought I want to leave you with. Think about what you personally value most in a cleaning service. Is it the personal touch of an owner-operated business, the peace of mind of knowing they're using eco-friendly solutions, or just finding the absolute cheapest option?
Yeah, once you figure out what's most important to you, then you can compare those priorities to what we've learned about foam and carpet care and see if they're the perfect fit. And if you're ready to get in touch, you can call them at 916-432-9776 or email them at info@foamandcarpetcare.com. They're located in Sacramento, California.
There you have it, folks. That's our deep dive into foam and carpet care. We hope you've learned some useful things and feel good about making an informed decision. Until next time, happy cleaning.